Hey, and welcome back to another episode of ReelTV. On our show, we report and discuss the latest movie news, as well as bring you the scoop from behind the scenes in Hollywood. I'm your host, Connor Smith.
And I'm Rachel Hine.
She's also hosting today.
Yes, I'm a host too.
So, this is like premiere week. All the shows are coming back, and obviously we are freaking out. Both of us
very excited.
Are fans of, what do we both watch? We both watch Big Bang.
We both watch
We
Big
both
Bang.
love Nashville on
Yes.
ABC.
Yes.
You watch Modern Family, right?
Yes, Modern Family.
There are a couple ones that we all watch.
Yeah.
But this past week, Fox started premiering shows a little bit early. They started with New Girl and Mindy on Tuesday, but we'll get to that later. We're going to talk mainly here about Red Band Society, which is
on
this
Wednesday.
Actually surprisingly good new show that the ratings told us that not many people watched it. It premiered to like 4 million, while Mysteries of Laura with Deborah Messing got like 10 million, which is just ridiculous. Yeah. But why don't you start on maybe what the show's about and what you liked about it?
Well, Red Band Society is about these kids in a hospital, and it sounds like it's a really depressing show, and it basically is to show that in a hospital, the kids have real lives too. They go to school, they have friends, they party, they're real kids. And you would think it's like this depressing show about kids with cancer, and it really is, it's a lot better than you would think it is, and it shows that they have lives outside of their sickness. And Octavia Spencer's in it, who is, she's like one of my favorite characters. And it was a lot better than I expected it to be, and I thought it was very sweet and like heartwarming. Yeah,
I think maybe like, it takes place in a hospital, so I feel like people are initially hesitant to check it out because kids, hospital, cancer, like it's not something that most people are like, I want to watch that.
Right.
But this show has this sense of humor to it. Like it is upbeat, it is funny, and it's really entertaining. I'm kind of surprised that more people weren't checking it out, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of the first season of Glee. And I know that people that's like the worst thing you can say about a show now because Glee's like awful now.
Right, but the first season was not.
The first season was great.
Yes.
And just these interactions with these kids, how different they are, and how they're all sort of finding themselves in this place. I mean, I guess the school was really bad to them in the first season. Like they were bullied and, I don't know, they kind of found this safe haven within each other. And I feel like that's kind of what I see in Red Band Society. They kind of are coming together and taking that comfort because of each other, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's just really overworded.
No, that makes sense though, because like the relationships within the kids is kind of what keeps driving them to be okay. Like Jordy is the new patient that is sick, and his roommate, I forget his name, but he wasn't sick, and he's not as he already had his leg removed, and now Jordy's going through that right now, and he was being very uplifting about it, and he gave him his red band, and he really and I like the girl that the anorexic girl that is now struggling.
Really liked
she was one of my favorites. Yeah. And she had a lot to her, which I thought was good. It wasn't like the stereotypical what you would think of it. Who's your favorite character? Who do you like?
You know who I really liked? I love the narrator, the boy who's in the coma.
Charlie.
Because throughout it, it's very funny. Throughout the whole thing, he's in a coma, so he obviously cannot speak, but he narrates the show because now I don't know if this is necessarily true or not, but he's in a coma, but he says he can hear and understand
well, it's true for him.
I
don't know what it is in real life.
I don't really know the science behind that. Yeah. But he farted in one scene.
Just to bother that popular
there's
girl
a teenager and she's like, oh, you farted. Yeah. And he's laughing in his coma. And it was just a funny
and he thought the
scene.
smell of pizza would wake him up.
Yeah, he talked about the smell of pizza waking him up. They are kids, and that's what I like about it. They do kid things, talk about he look at her butt and
they're kissing in the closet.
Kissing in the closet. They do kid-like things. And I thought they were genuine. I thought they were interesting. And I just really liked sort of the dynamic and the chemistry of this group. But it is a pilot. So I'm sure it's going to go 100 different ways after this episode. But as long as they keep that dynamic and that comedy, I think it'll be a successful show. aside from ratings, like the actual show itself. Because obviously it's going to get depressing at some point. It's a hospital and there are kids with cancer.
I thought they did a good job of not making it too depressing of a pilot, though.
Oh, I so agree.
I think they really did well with that.
Like, there were a couple sad moments, but like, it was funny. Like, what parts did you like find to be like funny? Any standout moments?
I thought the part with like the girl in the closet and like how they were just kind of like the whole love story between them all and like how they were dancing before he got his leg removed. I thought that was really
very sweet.
Yeah, I thought that, and then the roommate walked by, and I thought that whole thing was like very sweet. I liked how he said to bring the pizza in. My favorite moment of the whole episode was when Octavia Spencer's character called the pizza in because she wrote on the window, the girl in the room wrote like, send pizza to this room, and then the nurse saw after and called it in anonymously, and I thought that was really
and Octavia Spencer's like this sort of the mean stuck-up nurse the whole time, but in the end, I mean, she does something redeemable, like buy the kids pizza. I don't know, like it was just very tender and heartfelt.
She is sweet.
She's got a soft side, but so you know what moment I really liked, really quickly to wrap up Red Band Society. I really liked just everything with Octavia Spencer. I love when she hit the call button on the boy who was in a coma and she yells at him. And I like how on her coffee cup, I think it said like bitch. Like her coffee cup said super bitch. Like Starbucks, like that's what they wrote on her coffee cup versus her actual name. But really quickly, New Girl and Mindy Project. What did you think of that?
New Girl I thought was fantastic. I thought that it was just as funny as the other seasons were. I thought Schmidt was funny, and Cece is now broken up with her boyfriend, and now Schmidt was kind of into that, and Jess with the whole, they were all trying to not come home alone from the wedding. So I thought the whole plot was really, really cute.
I actually watched it. It was the first episode of New Girl I've ever seen, only because my roommate watches it. I watched Mindy Project at 9:30. So same hour. I was like, I guess I'll watch.
And how was that?
Girl.
How was Mindy Project?
Mindy Project is hilarious. See, I actually caught up over the summer. The first season is terrible. The second season is great. And I'm sure this third season, because they really found the group. Like, I feel like it just took them way too long to find a dynamic in the cast. That Red Band Society seemed to do well enough in its first episode.
Yeah.
But, Mindy Project was hilarious. I laughed a lot. Good. Best line was, there's one point where the older character, she says, "Oh, I can't go tonight. I have tickets to an execution." And I like cried. I was laughing so hard. But that's a wrap on this segment of ReelTV. Stick ahead. Stick ahead. That's not a thing. Stick around. News coming up and some trivia. And I went to the movies and saw 3 movies on yesterday. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome back. My name is Tim Mayo.
I'm Corinne Panko.
Next Friday, The Equalizer and The Box Trolls are being released in theaters. In The Equalizer, Denzel Washington plays McCall, a man who believes he has put his mysterious past behind him and dedicated himself to beginning a new, quiet life. But when McCall needs Terry, Chloe Grace Moretz, a young girl under the control of ultra-violent Russian gangsters, he can't stand idly by. He has to help her. Armed with hidden skills that allow him to serve vengeance against anyone who would brutalize the helpless McCall, comes out of his self-imposed retirement and finds his desire for justice reawakened.
Also coming to theaters is The Box Trolls. In the film, a young orphan boy who was raised by underground cave-dwelling trash collectors tries to save his friends from an evil exterminator. This film is based on the children's novel Here Be Monsters.
A long-held wish for fans of Marvel's Deadpool is finally coming true. According to Studio 20th Century Fox, the comic book star will arrive in theaters with a movie of his own on February 12, 2016. This is the newest Marvel mutant to star in his own project, but he's not exactly a typical comic book hero. Deadpool's known as the Merc with a Mouth, a mercenary with a sarcastic sense of humor who racks up a hefty body count and routinely breaks the fourth wall with his comics.
Colin Farrell is officially locked in for Season 2 of True Detective. Farrell confirmed his involvement in an interview with the Sunday World. The 38-year-old star said, "I'm doing the second series. I'm so excited. I know it will be 8 episodes and take 4 or 5 months to shoot. I know very little about it, but we're shooting in the environs of Los Angeles, which is great. It means I get to stay at home and see the kids." Farrell revealed the rest of the cast are still being locked down.
The follow-up to the young adult hit, The Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, races into theaters on September 18th, 2015. There's potential for more Maze Runners beyond that. Author James Dashner also penned another sequel, The Death Cure, that could be adapted for the big screen at a future date. The Maze Runner topped the weekend box office with $32.5 million domestically and pulled in an additional $37.6 million overseas. It flew past two other new wide releases, A Walk Among the Tombstones and This Is Where I Leave You, to emerge as the highest-grossing film.
It was rumored back in June that work had started on another big screen entry in the Rambo franchise. Launched in 1982 with First Blood, Sylvester Stallone will be heading into one last fight with Rambo Last Blood, which he also plans to direct. Stallone last played the role of John Rambo in 2008's Rambo, which earned $113.2 million worldwide on a $50 million budget. He also wrote and directed that film. Avi Lerner, who has worked repeatedly with Stallone, will produce Last Blood for Millennium Films.
Roberto Orci is dropped out of Power Rangers because his Star Trek III directing obligation has created a scheduling conflict. He'll no longer be executive producer of the film. It doesn't change Lionsgate and Haim Saban's intention to release Power Rangers worldwide on July 22, 2016. Ashley Miller and Zach Stentz, who penned the screenplays for X-Men First Class and Thor, will continue to write the script. The film is a modern reinvention of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a group of ordinary high school kids who find themselves infused with extraterrestrial powers and must harness those powers as a team to save the world. Now we will do trivia. I've been Tim Mayo.
And I'm Corinne Panko.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome back to ReelTV. Connor this weekend had no friends and decided to spend his entire weekend at the movies, so he's going to tell you about that now.
Well, that's a bit aggressive, but true, kind of. I don't have season football tickets, so I went to the movies yesterday instead of
the football game against UMass.
So was the football game fun?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We won.
We won.
By a lot.
We did. But I actually ended up seeing 3 movies. Don't know how that ended up happening, but just going to fill you in on a little bit about them, what I thought. So the first movie I saw was This Is Where I Leave You. And it's this family dysfunction comedy with Jason Bateman, Tina Fey, Corey Stoll, and Adam Driver, and they play the siblings. So they all come for their father's funeral, who passed away, and his sort of dying wish is to have them all stay under one roof together for a week. So obviously there's a bunch of shenanigans that happen. Each of them sort of has their own story about whether it's like romance and their relationships and all that kind of stuff. Surprisingly, there are a lot of things I liked about this movie. Adam Driver is hilarious. He is just so perfect in this role. He's in Girls. Do you watch Girls?
Right. I started it, yeah.
Okay, he plays Adam, who is Hannah's main love interest, and he is hilarious in this movie.
I didn't know he was in. Oh, yeah, good.
He's hilarious in it. Also, I really like Jason Bateman's main plot line. It involves him, in the first minute of the movie, he finds out that his wife is having an affair. So there's a lot of stuff that happens with that, as well as this returning love interest from his hometown, and I really like that aspect of it. Tina Fey also has a surprisingly poignant storyline in it, which also involves somebody from the hometown that I did like. The problem with this movie is that it kind of wants to give every single character its own subplot. So like whether it be the wife or the neighbor or the mailbox or the squirrel or the grass or the lawnmower, everyone really needs their own subplot in this movie. And it kind of feels really overstuffed at some points, and almost because since everybody kind of needs their own emotional moments, some of them don't really feel that genuine. But overall, I liked it. It is kind of August Osage County, but not Oscar winners and TV stars.
Worth going to see.
Worth a rental. I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth going to see in the theaters. But yeah, there are some good emotional moments and some bad emotional moments, so it's kind of a mixed bag. The next movie I saw was Tusk, and it's Kevin Smith's new movie. Kevin Smith is known for doing Clerks. He did Chasing Amy. He is Jay and Silent Bob. He's, I don't know exactly which one he is. He is Silent Bob. Thank you, Eric. Of course he's Silent Bob. He's the one that doesn't say anything. I'm stupid.
Continue.
But yeah, this is definitely his weirdest movie. It's, okay. And he did Red State a couple of years ago, which was pretty weird. And also, I really don't want to say anything about the plot of this movie, but it's super graphic. It's really gory, but I dug it. Like, it's really weird.
This was after you saw This Is How I Leave You?
Yes. So this was kind of like, but the thing about this movie is that it really has a sense of humor to it. It's morbid, and it's gross, and it's screwed up, and just indescribably disgusting at some points. But Kevin Smith really keeps this consistent, humorous tone throughout. And I laughed a lot, as gross and as some things were in it. And in the end, there's this scene, and there's some humanity in it, and the final scene of the movie, and it really made me like the movie even more. Justin Long plays the main character. He's fantastic. There's a great celebrity cameo around the two-thirds mark in this movie. I would definitely say check it out in theaters. Part of the fun of this movie is just watching how other people watch this movie. And the funny part is I saw it with my friend Kyra, and down were two elderly women, and it was just us. And this is a bloody horror film with some humor, and they were there in the front row.
Were you just watching their reactions that whole time?
And I couldn't really see their faces, but at the end I asked them, I was like, what did you think of this movie? Because I was like, I'm pretty sure you guys were going to go see 100-Foot Journey, but you walked in the wrong theater. But she said that someone said the movie was good, but they really didn't like it, so...
Not up their alley.
Yeah, definitely not up their alley.
What was the third movie you saw?
Third movie was...
Were you, like, tired? Did you need, like, a break? Or
Huh?
Did you need, like, a break?
No breaks. It was, like, 5 minutes, 5-minute break, third movie. No problem with that. But third movie was The Maze Runner. And going into The Maze Runner, I kind of thought I would hate it because I absolutely hated Divergent. I thought Divergent was just one of the most difficult movies to sit through. Just awful. And I mean, I like Shailene Woodley, and there were a great couple moments with her and Kate Winslet, but other than that, it was terrible. And I kind of thought that this would be sort of in the same line because it's the teen dystopian genre, you know what I mean? But I actually really had a good time with this movie. I think that the characters are likable. I think that the mythology and the mystery of this maze are actually surprisingly interesting. The action scenes are so fun. They're well directed, they're suspenseful, and the maze itself is actually really cool. I mean, there's scenes with bugs, there's the walls are closing in on you, the design of the maze is always changing, and it's actually a really fun movie, and they set it up for a sequel, and it's very obvious that they're setting it up for a sequel. But by the end, I was just having a great time, so I was like, I would totally. And there's actually a really surprising emotional moment toward the end that did not see coming, but it was well earned. I felt like, and yeah, it was a good movie. Maze Runner definitely better than the
favorite one out of the three.
They're all so different that I just could not choose. In terms of which movie I had the most fun with, The Maze Runner, but Tusk is unlike anything, so maybe Tusk, but yeah, definitely some stuff to see. So Rent, all were worth checking out. So yeah.
Yeah. Go
to the movies instead of see football games. Yay!
Like Connor.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us on ReelTV, and we will see you soon. Why'd I do that? Bye.
Hello, welcome back to ReelTV. I'm Brian C. Capon, and I'm your host for trivia here on ReelTV. Let's meet our contestants, brand new people who you just saw doing the news.
Hi, I'm Corinne and my favorite color is blue.
Hi, I'm Tim Mayo, and I guess you stole my favorite color. My favorite color is now green because hers was blue.
Okay. Well, since you guys are new, are you guys ready to play?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
All right. First question. Which of these films was nominated for 7 Oscars but didn't win any of them? Is it Citizen Kane, Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan, The Wizard of Oz, or The Thin Red Line? Tim.
Forrest Gump.
That is not correct. The correct answer was The Thin Red Line. All right. Well, you have 2 more questions. Don't worry.
Okay,
all right. Next question. Which of these actors had a cameo in the Indiana Jones movie with the Temple of Doom in 1984? Is it Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Tom Hanks, John Goodman, or Gene Hackman? Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Tom Hanks, John Goodman, Gene Hackman.
All right, I'm going to guess Tom Hanks.
That is not correct. It was Dan Aykroyd.
I knew
You knew it?
it. No.
All right. Well, there's one more question.
We're doing
Hopefully you
really
guys
good.
will get this one.
We're doing really
Although
good.
this one's a very challenging one, just
I
make your
know.
best guess. I'll have you both answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Before Jaws, Steven Spielberg directed a TV movie called Duel. What is Duel about? Is it the story that leads up to a famous pistol duel in 19th century France? The story of the first chess match between a man and a computer? A romantic film about tennis? A thriller about a man being tormented by a vicious semi-truck? Or a thriller about a man left alone in the ocean and forced to battle a killer whale? Tim?
The man dueling the semi-truck.
All right. What do you think?
Man battling the killer whale.
All right. Tim got it right!
Oh, hey!
Duel is about a man fighting for his life against a vicious semi-truck. All right. So Tim is our winner. Sorry, Corinne.
It's all right.
But you have plenty of opportunity to try this again. All right. Thank you for watching us here on ReelTV. I'm Brian Seekapon. We'll see you later.
No second